We are live and direct. I'm going to take these headphones off because I don't really need them today. I am waiting for a couple of people to show up. I'm waiting for Miss Tonier and, of course, my brother from another mother, that infamous. Okay, Miss Tonier. I'll see you, girl. Yes, honey. Add to the stage. There's Miss Tonier. There it is. There it is, Miss Tonier. Okay, we already had your
Can you
name.
hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hey, Miss Tonier, welcome back. We are back. We are back. Q Media Nation, live and direct. Is that what I want to say? I want to say direct. You know, it takes us time to get these shows together, and I really appreciate you always, always, always rocking with me the way that you do. I'm waiting for Mr. Admonish to come on in the room, and we will get started. I want to make sure that people know how to get on with us, so I'm gonna put on a little, you know, how we do. You know how we do. So we have not had a show since June of 2023. Can you imagine?
That's a long time.
That's been a minute. June of 2023, and we came on this new platform from Blog Talk Radio because it was it ended. Blog Talk Radio ended, and then we now have the Block 105.com that brought us on, and SoCal Radio, the official SoCal Radio, we have on with us. And Mr. Admonish should be with us in a couple of moments. We were trying to get the videos on for you all so you can hear the music and stuff like that. But what we're going to do is just load the other music, because a lot of this is just us vibing and chilling and doing what we do, because what we used to use as a platform, that has changed too. So a lot of folks, I'm telling you, when we buy into these things and then they end, then we're stuck without a plan. So I'm saying that because we are right now in a pickle with the new, or I guess I would say the remix president. We got a remix president. There goes Mr. Admonish. We got the remix president, Donald Trump. You know, he's remixing the foolishness. So, you know, we got to deal with whatever the remix was from 45. Now we got to deal with the remix from to 47. So welcome to the studio, Mr. Admonish.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Mello.
Yeah.
Like I said, I say it at every show that he comes on. If he's the reason I don't get into heaven, I'm just
What?
his ass in hell. No, I'm just kidding.
Listen,
No,
I'm not co-signing that.
I'm not gonna start right off with it because for real, we got a lot of stuff going on in everything. Like, the world has changed from the time we did that other show, because this is we're bringing people, we call this the Reconnection. We're bringing people back up to what we needed it to be from the time that we last got together. And I think it was in the middle of the pandemic, which was 2021. And now we're 4 years later and a little bit grayer, but we still have all our faculties. Miss Tonya is the only one that ain't got no gray hair on this screen. I want to know what's your secret?
Bless you.
Because mine, I don't know if it's growing from the other side of my head, because I'm like, come on now. I'm trying to put some dye on the inside of my head, so when the outside comes out, it's like black again. But
trying to hit the roots.
Okay, I mean, real. But 2023.
Yeah, my gray hairs are translucent.
Oh wow. Okay, we just got it all off. So We actually did that show in 2021 or
Okay.
2020, one of the two.
Mhm.
Then we did Black Music Month, June of 23, and then we just didn't have any more shows. But the Blog Talk Radio app that we were using, a platform, it ended January 31st of this year, 2025.
Mm.
And so we were left to go to StreamYard, and so we still trying to figure it out. No, but we make sure that the block105.com has our shows to do the video part, and then we load this part onto YouTube. So for all of you folks who are looking to get your music on with us, we have to get you the file size, because that's what we're dealing with right now, is dealing with files and making sure that the music is to us by download. So we are working on that part, but this show we want to make sure that we have everything that we need, because I'm looping a track that I downloaded. Well, we can actually do the music part, but anyway, catch us up on the career, Mr. Admonish. Check, you got a lot going on too. You had Deloria
Yes, I do.
Apparel. You have so many different, entities, but at the same time, you've matured big time in this
Thank
industry,
you.
and I want
Thank
people
you.
to really get that. And then we're going to talk about the music conference we had last year, Miss Tonya. The movie, we're still working on that.
Yes.
So we got a
That's
lot of
what's
stuff
up.
to plug people into and make sure that they get their career straight, but we trying to get ours straight too. So don't mind if we all get in a cipher together. So Mr. Admonish, please catch us up on your career. What's up?
Yeah. So just dropped an album. The album's called Hip Therapy. So I've been focusing on music a lot lately. A lot of my focus in it has been production driven and trying to push that towards sync licensing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I caught on September 30th. I had a hip replacement surgery from an old football injury. I don't want to hear nothing out your mouth, Alana. From a from an old football injury, and literally October 1st, when I came home, I was sitting there and I just started writing to my beats, something I haven't done in like 8 years. And it's funny because my wife was like, "Oh, so somebody's out of retirement." But I had emotions that I had to release. I had things on my mind, and I had feelings that I needed them to be said and expressed on the album the way I expressed them. So I
Mm-hmm.
was, I'm grateful to have my own studio and have my own setup where when I want to write, I write. When I want to record, I record. So my focus right now has been pushing the Hip Therapy album. It's more than just an album. I tell people it's actually therapy for me. The name alone is a double entendre,
Mm-hmm.
and it comes from hip hop being my therapy,
Mm-hmm.
but also being an actual therapy healing from my hip. So
I hear you. Now, I was smiling or staring at you because while he was getting his hip and coming out, I'm getting total knee replacement. So we some old hip hop heads, you know what I mean?
yeah,
We still on
yeah,
this side to tell the story. I mean, we've lost Irv Gotti, we've lost so many people
quite
as
a
we
few people.
aged in hip hop that wasn't, the classic story, they got shot and then just went on. No, these are real things from different types of, ailments that
Yeah,
we've grown up, eating them, eating that store-bought candy and all them chips. They done caught up with us. They done
yeah,
caught up with us. But I want to switch the conversation a little bit to health.
yeah.
And as we grow in hip hop, how important, and both of you can speak on this, how important is it to keep up with your health regimen, if you even have one, walking, drinking water, simple things like that, meditation, which includes mental therapy or some type of therapy that has to do with either physical or mental,
Yeah.
or in some cases, some folks, they need medication to balance them out because the anxiety is just growing tell me some of your thoughts, and how's your health too, for both of you.
Well, the first thing I'm gonna do with that is all my consulting clients, I tell them, I don't care what you're doing in life, there's two things that you have to do. You have to learn and you have to work. And the
Mm,
reason why I bring that into the health conversation is because in order for you to be healthy, you have to first learn what is health, because that's something we weren't taught. In the health ed classes that we had, it wasn't about cholesterol and it wasn't about, diabetes, and it wasn't things of that nature. So we have to learn what is real health, what is great health, and then we got to work at it. So, my wife and I, we have a regimen where we do full body workouts one day, and the next day, the town that we live in, we walk from one end to the other and back, which I think is about 3.5 miles.
mm,
So we do that on a regular basis.
mhm.
Even yesterday when it was brick cold, we was outside walking.
Wow,
But I
commendable.
mean, you have to learn how to eat. Like we were taught to eat, but we were never. Nobody taught our mothers and fathers how to eat and why
Hmm.
to eat these things.
Hmm.
So we have to teach ourselves and teach those around us. The one thing that we have to do that we've done so much is we feel so, so behind. And I have a theory on this, how our cultures are 2 zeros behind those of the wealthy.
Mm,
So the thing about that is we live a life trying to be so fast and trying to catch up to those 2 zeros that we're not investing in the longevity of our life. You know what I'm saying? So we're not investing in the food. We're not investing in our physical health. We're not investing in our mental health. Everything is, I'll do that when I get rich.
right, right.
You know what I'm saying? And I tell people on a regular, like, yo, if you're gonna go every 6 months to a year to get physical, to get your physicals to see what's up with your body, why not do that same thing for your mind, just to make sure you mentally okay too? And don't
Hmm.
forget to check on your. I got these. So I say you got to make sure you can check on your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, your physical health, and your financial health. You got to do all six of those, not
That's
one or
right.
the other.
Most definitely. Miss Tonya, you want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, you pretty much covered it. At our age, we definitely need to concentrate on making ourselves live a little longer by going to the doctor and checking ourselves out, and eating the right foods and doing our exercises. And the older you get, the stiffer you get. So you need to stay in motion, keep walking and jogging if you like to jog or whatever. But you have to keep moving. And the doctors, they say that, eat this or drink that in 1 minute, and then the next minute that's not good for you.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
Hmm.
we want to concentrate on what will make you healthy and what's good for you. If you have high blood pressure, or if you have diabetes or whatever, make sure you're eating the right foods and doing the right things to keep you live a little bit longer.
That's right. That's right. Now, I will say,
Absolutely.
you said the jogging part. I want you all to know Miss Tonya used to be the baddest baller in high school. She was no joke. And I mean, fit and ready for anything that hit that rim. That girl was like a Tasmanian devil when it came to
That's what's
playing
up.
ball. I was like, I'm not like her. Would we friends? Maybe she could teach me how to play. And then she became a basketball coach.
Nice.
So I mean, just being physically active was a major thing. So do you all have a regimen, a daily regimen that you know keeps y'all fit and trim and all those
Well,
things?
the first thing I do this in the morning, and I do it right before our workouts, my wife and I. So I literally work every joint. Like I sit there and I saw this video on YouTube. It's a Shaolin monk, and it's funny because the exercises are super simple, but it's stuff we don't think about. Like, you move your wrist around certain rotations, your head and your shoulders and your back, and you know he says in the video, either you move it or you lose it, like Miss Tonier said, but it's the truth. Like simple things like it's easy to say just do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do that every day. Like I sit there, if I'm in a conversation, sometimes I drop my hands and I just be working my hands and when I walk, I try to focus on my heels hitting the floor, am I following through with my toe? It's funny, but what I tell people is once you start recognizing the minute details of what you do in life,
Mm-hmm.
and you start appreciating those minute details, you won't see how key they are to the major functions that you do.
Right.
In any aspect, so like we do, like every other day we walk, like I said, 3.5 miles. My wife and I, we walk from one side to the other. When it warms up, we do steps. In the spring and the summer, we do the steps. Like there's a spot by where I live.
Are you still doing your
Yes, he can come on in the camera. Come on in, De'Ara, because this is the next generation of hip hop.
Come here.
There it is right there.
This is price. No,
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Let me tell you how priceless this is. Because when I started the Q Media Nation show and Jeremiah came to me in the same year, I would be able to listen back at those recordings and remember that he was right there in the room when we made history happen. So I applaud all the babies coming in the room, all that kind of stuff. Look, she's trying to be so still. It's okay, Miss Sonia. He's good. He's good.
Listen,
Oh no,
listen,
he's moving.
if my youngest was here, who moved out to own an apartment, if my youngest was here when I leave the interview, I'll hear it. Listen, you study too much. You need to stay on focus. You need to be confident. I'm like, I am confident. I just need you to be more confident. I need you to project a little more.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel you.
But your regimen, talking about how you have to move your body in certain ways. I had the pleasure of babysitting a 2-year-old last night.
Nice.
Let's just say I need therapy. I saw my therapist yesterday. I need it again because these millennium babies are different. They are whatever was born after 2000. They're just different. I mean, how many times did I play telephone between 8 p.m. last night till almost 8 o'clock this morning? We were doing telephone. He was building it, broke it down, put it back together. Like, it's different. For us, we got our toys, and see those toys back then, you had to go to the hospital after you finished getting hit with them. Or, remember the click clackers, those things?
The click clackers, the metal Tonka trucks. Yeah, I remember.
You had your head bandaged when you got finished. This is all plastic, all this stuff. So the more you play with it, the more creative they've become. And I think that's good for an industry that we have that has been so creative, that this new hip hop generation they're making things different. They're doing things different. They're making the music different. They're putting the videos together with just a phone and some editing. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Who does that?
Let me find out who does that. So, I mean, for our generation, since we were at the forefront of it, what we call hip hop now, of course, it had been around in many other ways prior to us coming along. But what do you see for the future of our genre? Because they say we too old, and I put a video out on my Instagram that's like, Redman said, this is a young man's game. Yeah, but the old heads, we know how the business side goes, but we also know the music side. And I think some people are so fascinated with being famous that they forget that they can make a living and still create your own audience everywhere you go and not have to compromise your life. I remember we were sitting in meetings that Talib Kweli was there, P there, everybody in the industry, and I was like, damn, why are we not famous? How come we can't get on a label and all? And now you're looking, and some of them are dead, some of them are in jail. Like, there was a lot of compromising and not taking care of what needed to be taken care of in the long run.
Yeah.
So what word of advice could we give this new generation so that we can, stave off some of the backlash or some of the loss later on? And that's
So
what
right now we're in an interesting place because we're even though we're 50 years into hip hop, we're still in a place, first basis place. What I mean by that is we've been here 50 years, but we've never had a 50-year-old rapper. You know what I'm saying? And we've never had people who've been in the hip hop game for 30 years that can sit down with somebody else and say, listen, I've been in here for so long. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just trying to show you the pitfalls. I'm just trying to show you how to protect yourself. Because before we were, those bits of advice were being offered by people who weren't either in our culture or didn't know our music. Mm-hmm. So right now we're in a first again where we can be like, listen, back then we worried about getting money and not where the money was coming from. Before we were worried about, I need to get this whip and I need this chain, and we weren't thinking about where's our health benefits and how do we do financial planning and how do we do retirement planning. So
right.
The first thing I think we need to do is we need to get into a space where we can have where the I guess the elders in the hip hop game and the young ones can sit down and have a conversation, because there's a lot of them who just don't want to listen. They know it all, and I know they know it all because I knew it all. That's what I thought. But I was still taught by my elders, even if you know everything, just leave your ears open. Like, just listen. You know what I'm saying? Like, if someone tells you 10, I've learned that if someone tells you 10 bits of information and you already know 9 of them, that one may take you somewhere different. May spark something. So we have to get to a place where we need to stop with this is how we do it and that's it. But the youth need to also be like, listen, I don't know everything, and I would love some advice. So, there's a compromise that needs to come from both angles, but we need to realize, like, even right now, like, I was on a live yesterday, and there's so many genres of hip hop right now that now there's subgenres to the genres.
I'm unbelievable.
And what I love about it is it's cool. The reason why I think it's cool is because if there wasn't subgenres, there wouldn't be 50-year-olds rapping anymore, because everybody would be like, it's a 16. Every bit of music is new. So the youth are always going to be attached to the youth. But my dad listened to what I did before he passed, but I remember him listening to doo-wop, even though doo-wop was old to me. So there's people who want to listen to what I got to say. I don't have the same perspective as a drill rapper because I ain't there no more. I ain't got the same perspective as a block hustle rapper because I ain't there no more. But I am in a space where there are people who want to hear what I got to say. So all of us need to open up to that.
That's it. Miss Tonya?
Yeah, I think that his perspective is on point, because the younger generation is not really wanting to listen to us because we're old school. Mm-hmm. They feel that we don't know as much as they do, and they are in with the times, and they know all the new gadgets and different procedures on how to do things that's quicker and faster and this and that. But still is always some place where you can learn something, and that's the thing. They think they know everything, but like you say, out of 10, if you get 9 of them You still have that one. You still need to learn from that one, and
Yeah.
and that will help you go a long way.
Yeah, yeah. We have so much. I feel like we've done a lot of work, but we still have a lot of work to do
Absolutely.
because there's no way in the world we're allowing this to die. And that's what I love about this new generation is that even if they take the L's, they take the W's too. And they're like, okay, I changed this, or I got that. And now that the content creation, content is king, content is queen now. So everybody's rushing to get content out. It doesn't matter what it is. And even if it looks crazy, because listening to Sugar Hill Gang, a hip hop, the hibbity, the hibbity. We listen to it now. We like, what were we listening to? Or we listen to the Fat Boys. You'd be like, what the hell were we singing? And then it became the Queen Latifahs, the Big Daddy Kanes, the
Yeah.
old people that actually started to say something and really writing deep, deep lines.
Yeah.
Then we got seemed like off track when we had the Soldier Boy, but then it brought in dance other than the b-boy dance that we would see on the stage with the other rappers. But it just takes its twists and turns. And I think that's so beautiful about our genre is that
Mhm.
there are there's no one person. Like anybody can do it. I heard some of the I'm gonna date myself with this word. Flyers, yes, I said it. One of the flyers I heard a rapper from Iceland. Iceland. You mean something from that we coined it the Bronx is all the way in Iceland, is all the way in Japan, is all the way in Holland, is all the way in all of these different spots in the world. And we're all connecting through the internet so that we can make music without being in the same physical space. Whereas before, you would get 10 people in the studio, and I mean by 4 o'clock in the morning, everybody's stinking. You know, everybody's stinking. I don't care what you smell like when you came in. Everybody's stinking because everybody's working and we're sweating and we're putting in that sweat equity and we're putting in the work and we're changing each other's lines and we're saying, oh, this might sound better like this or this might be like that. And but see, back then we were taking pictures of everything. So
Yeah.
we have pictures of us working and now
Yeah.
we have videos of us working like we're doing right now. So I don't think it's a genre where we're ever going to outlive it. We're never going to be like those were the golden days. And we're still creating what moves the world. And that
Yeah.
is what is so monumentous to me in this genre. I mean, I could go to somewhere and everything's hurting, but I can hear a beat and be like, yo, I can toe tap. If I don't do nothing else, I'm gonna move my head. I'm gonna do something because we're going to something tonight. And I'm like, if they don't have chairs, we leaving. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not standing up all night. I'm sorry. I'm not wearing an ATM bag and an 8-ball jacket today. No, I'm not. This is not that era. So, from you all, what do you feel is like our golden era? Because for me, it was the 80s, 90s. The 90s might have been my golden era. But for other people, it may be another set of years.
Yeah, that's always going to be that's always going to be perspective. And the thing about that is it's kind of like the GOAT conversation. I tell people, I think Michael Jordan is the GOAT in basketball, but you can't. People used to compare. Well, then who do you think is better, Patrick Ewing or Michael Jordan? It's like you can't compare them because one's a guard, one's a center. So I think the golden era will always be the prime of whoever you're speaking to. So if you're speaking to somebody from their 20s, well, perspective, my youngest would say Nas and Eminem in early 2000. For me, it's the 90s. And it's I would say 86 to like 2001, I would say, because it was innovative. It was everybody was creating on top of, like, okay, you did this, now I got to be better. And the beautiful thing about all of that was what I think is the reason why it's the golden era for me is because if DMX sounded a certain way, nobody else wanted to sound like DMX. If Public Enemy sounded a certain way, no one else wanted to sound like Public Enemy. And to me,
Right.
that's what made that the golden era, because everybody was forced to sound original. If you didn't sound original, it was kind of like, what are you here for?
Right.
That's true.
Because everybody loaned themselves to whatever their specific thing is. I laughed when you said 86 because that was me and Miss Tonier's debut. Tony Tone on the microphone, rocking all these. I'm not alone. Actually, I still have that recording too. I talked to Nerdine yesterday, 2 days ago, because it was his mother's birthday. But I remember standing on my grandmother's porch and practicing a rhyme, and we had a porch that had a door, but she had the curtain in front of the door. So I'm standing at the door. This is high school. Before I had a license, I'm standing at the door waiting for a ride. So I'm out there like I'm doing my thing, and I'm acting it out because in my head, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm about to get into. So I look, and she's like this. Like, what's going on out there? Because I don't see anybody out there. So I see her open the door a little bit, and she's like, who are you talking to? And I'm like, I'm rhyming. She's your what? What you say you doing? I said, I'm rhyming. I'm memorizing my lines. It's like doing an Easter speech. Like, I really had to break it down. Like, she's like, oh, okay. And she was born in 1912. This is 1985, so to speak, in one of those years in there. And she's looking at me like, what's up? And this is so crazy. Now I look at these young people and I'm like, what? What are you doing? What you saying? How is that going? Because they just have their own, it's like every generation has their own language. Yeah. And we may have some type of continuity and something that brings us together, which may be the boom bap of the music. But clearly they have their own language in it, because I've had to be like, when my godson, I'm like, wait a minute, let me see. I gotta look that word up. How you spell that? And the way they spell it, I said, because when we started spelling record, like you play, we said WRECKA, a record stole. You know what I mean? That was like, what is he trying to say? And I don't know if you all feel like that when you're talking to the new generation. Like, what are you saying? Like, help me understand you. So
yes. Yeah. Yes, I'm gonna say that because I speak to young dudes and we're talking about whatever, music life, whatever. And sometimes, I guess I'm looking at them with a glazed eye. They're like, oh, gee, you know what that word is? I'm like, nah, B. They're like, what do you mean, B? I ain't a blood. I'm not calling you a blood. I'm just saying, you said your language. You said
everybody these days is bruh.
Mine.
Everybody's bruh these days. Yo, bro. And I'm like, who are we talking to? So go ahead.
Yeah, but what I love about it is it's the constant evolution of our vernacular. Like, we created our own vernacular in the city that we understand. And I hate when people are like, oh, you talking slang and you talk. I'm like, yo, regardless, it's a vernacular. Like, Puerto Ricans speak Spanish a certain way. Dominicans may speak it another. It's still Spanish, but it's different vernaculars within it. So what's the difference between someone speaking the King's English and someone speaking, our vernacular, the way we, as long as you understand each other, to me, that's all that matters. And whenever you don't understand something, I tell everybody, yo, just ask the question. Like, if you don't ask questions, you ain't never gonna get an answer.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're gonna cut to a little bit of a commercial. It's only about 30 seconds long. Just give you all the opportunity to get that yawn out, because I keep seeing it, keep trying to contain it. No, I'm just messing with you. And I have a thing where I can kind of cut off for a second so I can take a drink. No, this tea. It's nothing in it. But just give you all a second to refresh yourself. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
All right, we are back. We are back. We're back. Miss Tonya will be back with us in a couple of moments. But I want to say to all of you who would like to have your videos on with us, they have to be 1 minute or less. So if you have a video, if you want us to do a video premiere for you here on the Q Media Nation show, we play about 1 minute. If it's a audio file, then we're able to get your audio file on. It has to be 2 megabytes. Is that what I'm? Yeah, I think it's like 2 megabytes or less. So it can't be a long video. It can't be a long audio like how your regular music is. It can't be like 10 minutes long. Your videos, if it's clips, we're more than welcome to put them. You're more than welcome to have them on with us. It's about a minute clip because we're just like advertising, and that's one of the things that Admonish and I talk about a lot. Is helping to promote the artists and make sure that they get their brand out there, their music out there, make sure that they get their sound out there, their own style. And that's what he's here as one of the chief minds that works along with Q Media Nation to make sure that we keep things together here at the show. So I really appreciate the mind of the master at work, because he's that person that's like, he sees it before it happens. He's almost like a sage in this industry. And I appreciate that, because and it's true. There were certain things we were doing in the studio that years, like 30 years, was it 20 years ago, 20 plus years, we were doing.
I'm not saying.
And he was like Dexter's Laboratory. He's in there pushing buttons and he's doing all this stuff. And then we're like, what is this dude doing? And then he's sitting back and you see him clicking, switching stuff, and remastering stuff. And this is back when you had to haul all this equipment in. And why I say a sage is because now when I'm looking for something and I'm stuck, I'm like, yo, dude, put those buttons in, all that magic you can do and help me to create what I need for me. And then he'll take it, say, sis, this is what I came up with. This is what you may want to use. And we get it printed, we get it, graphics, all of those kind of things he was doing when I met him, but he was years ahead so that he can be on time now. That's crazy. That's some Matrix type stuff. Like, for you to catch up with yourself, and you got an old man's mind and a young man's body. Now the old man body with the, the young man's mind. So it's a flip. You know what I mean? You did that karate into the future. So tell us about more so the album, and because you had 3 videos, we will debut them. We will put the music on at a certain point, or if you have it in the background, you just want to play it while we're on, and we'll have a listening session. That's up to you, how you want to do it. So, if you cue,
I could play them. I could play the video. I can pull it up right quick.
Cool. So this is which video are you loading up first?
I'll tell you right now.
All right. So while he's doing that, I want to get all of you to understand that you can send your clips and your audio to qmediagroupusa@gmail.com. It's been the same email address since literally it's like 2002, I believe, is when. So it was past the millennium, but again, Q Media Group USA at gmail.com. Ms. Tonier, tell them your handle on Instagram.
Miss Tanya at gmail.com.
Okay. And your Instagram is just Miss Tonier, or is it just Tonier?
Yeah, Miss Tanya.
All right, MSTONYE, because she represents the South. So all of you Southern musicians, we down there, get your fans on, put your boots on. She gonna do all of the dance. Fans, get your fans, do
Country
the
line.
dance. So Mr. and I'm up here in the north, but I'm going south. I'll be in South Carolina soon, and you all see the telephone number that's going on the bottom for those who are looking on YouTube, but for those who are listening to this on audio on the block 105.com, the number to reach us is 551-207-1327. We are your source for independent thought, politics, money, music, and life with myself, Sister Falana, and Ms. Tonier. And of course, our special guest, Mr. Admonish. We want to get your Instagram. But right now, we're going to listen to, and for some visual, but mostly audio, we're going to debut one of his latest projects. Go ahead, Mr. Admonish. It's all yours.
This song is called Exit Plan, and this is the video that we shot. Sometimes you gotta let it go, just let it go. Sometimes you gotta let it go, just let it go. What's your exit plan? Your exit plan. Coming up the highway, what's your exit plan? Not every situation calls for your patience. Sometimes our hesitation can lead to aspiration. Words fly like babies, wanting participation. I'd rather walk away than get out like meditation. You got a different place, it calls for different time. Being in a different face leads to a different time. Change your mind, confines and on the climb. And watch your surroundings change like it's divine. Don't hear the words. I need you to learn the lessons. I see you and want you to have continued blessings. But you ain't meant to get it with me, homie. Just go get it. I got mine, and Lord knows there's no regret. Some things are meant for seasons, others are meant for reasons. There's no need for breathing, no need for breathing. So watch and grow the healing, but don't let this be misleading. I hope everything in your life is succeeding. All this breathing, fresh air gives me no meaning. Friends and business, come and go, it's just beginning. Keep achieving, keep dreaming, there's no ceiling. I'ma keep eating and feeding and still believe. Sometimes you gotta let it go, just let it go. Sometimes you gotta let it go, just let it go. What's your exit plan? Your exit plan. Coming up the highway, what's your exit plan? Sometimes you gotta let it go, just let it go. Sometimes you gotta let it go, just let it go. What's your exit plan? Your exit plan. Coming up the highway, what's your exit plan? Coming up the highway, what's your exit plan? Sitting here contemplating my life. I'm so blessed eternally, appreciating my life. After surgery, my son helping me get right. Eternally, the pain, you keeping me up at night. At times, I worry, man. My decisions right, pursue my dreams, but now it's a constant fight. I pray hard, get hard, continue to shine his light. Cause only he knows how bad I need it tonight. The times I feel used, such a part of my life. I pay attention to the tone when it strikes tonight. Stay away from the stress, the defense strife. I use the trails of my tears that's the coming through the night. So we can lead me to better days and sunshine. I miss my mom and dad every day of my life. I pray all of our babies live a life so bright. But for now, I'ma let it go and exit to the right. Sometimes you gotta let it go, just let it go. Sometimes you gotta let it go, just let it go. What's your exit plan? Your exit plan. Coming off the highway, what's your exit plan? Sometimes you gotta let it go, just let it go. Sometimes you gotta let it go, just let it go. What's your exit plan? Your exit plan. Coming up the highway. What's your exit plan? I just want to There you go. That was exit plan.
Right. That was Admonish with exit plan. I saw that too. I was like, how many times have I thought about an exit plan from a lot of things, and I just needed some music to go with it. Now I got it. So that's it. It's it. It's my exit plan, and boom. No, Miss Tonya, your reaction to that?
It was awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Really,
thank you.
Really good.
Now we got the song out. I saw the apparel. I saw saw Admonish music. Yeah, I see the hat. You got the hat too. Can you get in the camera so we can see what your hat says? That's one of your creations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
D-Lori. That's one of his
The
creations.
D-Lori. Yeah, the thoroughbred's one of our logos. It's on the hoodie as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that's D-Lori apparel. We kind of like shifting a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We got some new ideas, new marketing ideas. So we took the website down for now. So, so when it comes out, it's something new, it's something fresh, and introduce it to a new audience.
Okay. Now I'm introducing other aspects because some people feel like I'm just music. I don't do nothing else but music. I'm music, and then they turn around and they cornered themselves till all they do is music, and then when no one's buying your music, then now you got to figure out how to pay your rent, life insurance, because I'm always going to talk about that. If you absolutely health insurance, family, putting food on the table, all those kind of things. When you pigeonhole yourself into one thing, and then there's some that feel like I'm not getting no 9-to-5 job. Listen, I will tell you right here and now, I have 2 full-time jobs. Yes, but I have them in such a way that they're flexible, but I also have 2 businesses. So in the economy that we're living in, that's how I choose to live and how I do what I do. But for other people, like Miss Tonya, she's an entrepreneur, but in a different sense is because she's helping other people to grow what they're doing so that she adds her flavor to it without being, taking on all of the day-to-day risk. So for all of us who are out there that's pushing and pulling and doing what we have to do, how important is it to diversify? You have a portfolio that you don't just have one stock. And I look at us as that too, is I may not have one talent or I may not do one thing, but I am a bona fide stock. I am taking stock in myself and I'm selling in different ways my brand. So you have clothing, you have apparel, put it that way, because it's more than that. You have the music, you got film, you have so many other entities. Miss Tonya, we do the radio thing, we have other things that we're involved in. And I mean, she's a bad hairstylist too. Don't get it twisted. She can flip that hair like her mother did. So I'm saying you look at yourself. Sometimes people look at themselves and they say, "Oh, I'm nothing. I'm just this." But you are more than that. And the fact that she can rock with me all these years and not lose it, that's a talent too. So I really appreciate what you bring to the table. So hit it. Both of you all can add to that.
I mean, first of all, in order for you to find who you are, what your purpose is, and what you're here to do, you got to go out and experiment. Like you gotta see different things, see different. So a lot of us in our community, the reason why we feel I'm nobody, I don't do anything, there's nothing, because we're stagnant in the same area. So there's no spark, there's no inspiration, there's no introduction to something new. It's funny because Joel Ortiz, when he got signed to Aftermath years ago, I read an interview on him, and he said something that clicked in my head, and it was so true. He said when he got on the plane to go to California to sign his contract, that was the first time he was ever outside the 3-block radius.
Wow.
The 3-mile radius. No, the 3-block radius of his house.
Mm-hmm.
Because he said it was a day trip for him to go to Times Square, never mind the fact that he lived in Brooklyn. So the fact that we get caught in that 3-block radius most of our lives, that's where I ain't nothing but and like with my kids, we intentionally took them different places. I'm so grateful that like my kids right now like went to Japan on their own, went to Paris, and that's not to stunt. That's to say, I wish somebody told me that Paris was real. You know what I'm saying? And getting stuck in that 3-block radius, you feel that that's not real anymore. That's not attainable. And that goes into, if you experiment, then you realize I may be a musician, I may be a hairstylist, I may be a consultant, I may be whatever it is that you introduce, you have to go try to see if that's what you do. And whatever you have a passion for, we got to finance it. So, what are the methods of financing? You stick with the J job, or maybe you found something that works. Like, I do music and I do my clothing brand, but my true breadwinner.
Hold on. I finally hit the right button. I wanna debut this before we get off. So go ahead, keep talking, and then I'm gonna play this video.
So what my bread and butter is consulting, and my printing company is under my consulting company. So, while I'm teaching people, I wind up getting clients where I can print stuff. And it's funny because all of that, what I do is I funnel all of that right back into my music and right back into my clothing brand. I funnel it to my music, and I introduce the clothes through my music. So everything has, it's a funnel effect. Yeah.
I wanted Miss Tonya to say her part, but I also hit the right button so we can put these videos on, because I'm like, there's no way in the world that we can't get to this. And I'm glad that you're talking about that, because Delora jacket lining, you actually did music to it. You did your own commercial, which is like, okay, duh.
So I shouted myself out in my own song. Yeah.
So listen, folks, we're gonna debut this, and we'll be back on the camera in a minute. So give us a minute to put it back on. Yeah, that's me introducing it. Boom, bab.
Yeah, funky.
Admonish music, chosen. The sunshine in the lorry jacket line. How to put your bomb in, salt and pepper scribing. But when I'm driving, I'm out here just vibing. You out here straight lying. All possibilities, metaphors and similes. It's all gimmicky, visually trickery. You must be sick of me, cause you pause when you're next to me, trying to get the flex on me. Definitely, boy, there's no need for the weaponry. Yo, they all tried, now the rest by the side of the highway, trying to get by. Rob Peter to get poor, standing on the store, watching shit fall out your mouth. While you talk, can't nobody hear you, nor do they believe you. Acting like your cars and your juice make it believable. Now I'm cipher, no receivables, your debit ain't achievable. You might as well do the inconceivable. These more than bars, poor house by far. J'en ai parlé pas, Francois, Mansoir. Dig me if you're feeling me, ride my delivery. Roller coaster lyrically, New York livery. Moving with the gab, down payment on the slab. Acre and a half, a crib and a lab. 2 horses and a cat. You could call me Ad, that deposit and a half. Just to get a track, my points on top of that. 2 weeks and a half, I'm back on my shaft. Talking all that trash. You can have it back. I'm all for all of that. Yeah, the boy did the track and he wrote all his raps. Hey yo, I just felt like putting the pen to the pad. It's always a chosen fear. Admonish music. Glory Enterprises. We just vibing. Just vibing. Just vibing. Your boy did the track and he wrote his raps. Wrote his raps and he did the track. Your boy did the track and he wrote his raps.
Wow. Whoa.
Thank you.
Got it.
Really
got
good.
it. Got it. I want to tell you thank you, because you always make sure that we get what we supposed to get, which is top choice. We don't get no garbage. We top figure. So Miss Tonya, we got about 4 minutes left of the show, and tell us how to support what you're doing in the South, because you're doing a lot. You're connected to an after school program that really services the community. I want to give that some shine. One of your sisters who's very enterprising, you've been helping her to help develop young minds.
Yeah. So I was first in Florida, and my sisters followed me down to Florida, and the latest one, the youngest of the sisters, purchased a youth center, and it has children from elementary to 12 years old that they can do sports and they can do creative stuff that develops their mind. And so she's making sure that everybody in the community has exposure to that, and that, you know, as far as being healthy and stuff, the sports part of it, it blends with the educational part of it. So you're getting a workout as well as getting your mind worked on as well.
All right, I love it. I
That's
love
beautiful.
it.
That's beautiful.
We just talked about health at the top of the show, but I also want to make sure that people have our Cash App, because we're about the business. And Admonish and I talked about that. Is like, we put a lot into this, and we want to be able to be supported as well. So it's not a tax deductible. That's not what it is. It's to help us to create more shows and help us to get out there. And I used to be apprehensive in asking for, well, we offer a lot of services. So whenever we offer our services, that is the Cash App you will be sending it to. And, you know, we just going to do what we have to do. Admonish, tell them how to get to you on Instagram and all of your social media links. Shout that out. We can
Everything is Admonish Music. That's the website, admonishmusic.com, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, all of that's Admonish Music. I mean, please, like, I'm not Hollywood, man. You can reach out, ask a question. You know, you want to say something about the music, you want to know what the music is. I funnel everything through a website called even.biz, a great organization. Support the artists. That's what they're based on. Support the artists by paying the artists. Like, we have a pay what you want program. So basically, album's $10, but you can pay whatever you want. You think the album's worth $300, $1,000? I'm just saying, just throwing numbers out there. But you know, whatever you want to pay, $12, $11, you know, whatever. But when you pay for the album, you actually start getting access. Like, we have a few people who actually paid $75 for the album, but they got a hoodie.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I funnel everything through there, and my website is the primary places where I focus everybody to go. But everything, wherever you go, it's just type in Admonish Music, and my socials will pop up.
All right. Well, we want to thank everyone who tuned into this segment of the show. You know, we're going to have to do more because we got some other videos to debut from Admonish, and we're going to get deeper into the business side of things because he is a consultant as well. So we want you to be able to plug into resources that will really, truly help you. Ms. Tonier, thank you for rocking with me for all these years.
Thank you, Ms. Tonier.
50 plus
problem.
years. And we've been doing what we do because we love you. And with
My
that
pleasure.
being said, we are your source for independent thought, politics, money, music, and life. I'm Sister Falana, along with
Miss Tanya.
all right, and
Admonish music.
all right, love, peace, and I don't even know whether to say soul because that's actually what you can't say, but I will say love, peace, and all that, and then some. We'll see you on the next segment of the Q Media Nation show. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings.
Peace.